Championship upsets seldom arrive with fireworks. More often, they creep into the garage disguised as paperwork. And this week's Spanish Grand Prix is one of those moments. A slim technical bulletin, just a handful of sentences, orders every team to stiffen the front wing that first slices the air at more than 300 kilometers per hour, trimming permitted deflection by 5 millimeters, and threatening to shift 3/10 of a second per lap. Enough to fracture the balance of power we've witnessed over the opening 8 races and recast McLaren's papaya steamroller, Ferrari's frustrated renaissance, Mercedes's quiet persistence, and Red Bull's lurking menace. By Sunday evening, engineers described the directive as a butterfly flapping its carbon fiber wings that could summon a hurricane of order sheet revisions, while strategists whispered that even the most disciplined simulation models cannot predict the compound effects once airflow skims differently over tire sidewalls, brake ducts, and diffuser strakes. So keep watching, because the answer to who lifts the trophy in Abu Dhabi may be written in Barcelona's sun-baked tarmac. Technical Directive 018 becomes law the instant the pit lane light turns green for Friday practice, trimming the permitted vertical deflection of every front wing element from 15 millimeters to 10 millimeters under a 1,000 Newton load, and adding stiffer lateral checks to stop teams twisting the structure for free straight-line speed. It's a response to slow-motion footage from Melbourne and Suzuka that showed leading-edge flaps flexing like reeds, flattening on the straights, then arching under braking. Behavior worth 3/10 per lap that rivals branded unfair. The new load protocol also forces teams to demonstrate compliance at multiple Y angles, meaning cleverly articulated joints that once passed when probed head-on must now survive side pulls. Design offices have scrambled to add 400 grams internal ribs without upsetting carefully balanced mass targets under the sport's cost cap. Because the front wing steers airflow toward the floor, stiffening it can raise tire temperatures by several degrees Celsius, upset energy recovery balance, and flip degradation curves. So a rule that looks like bureaucratic trivia could yank seconds of performance from one car while gifting the same prize to another. And Barcelona's fast-loaded right-handers will make any weakness impossible to hide. McLaren arrives in Catalonia with 319 points, 172 more than anyone else, and 6 victories from the first 8 Grand Prix, 4 by Oscar Piastri and 2 by Lando Norris. Yet replays from Albert Park showed their papaya front wing feathering slightly on the main straight. A movement legal under the old 15mm tolerance, but now in TD018's crosshairs. So while team boss Andrea Stella calls their Barcelona nose a routine calibration, insiders note it is the 3rd specification rushed through in 6 weeks, and that the composites department ran 24-hour shifts to meet freight deadlines. If the new stiffer assembly generates unexpected drag, the Woking cars will need to earn track position through wheel-to-wheel combat, an art scarcely practiced this year, and a 2/10 deficit across 56 laps equals an 11-second loss, enough to drop a leader into the turbulence of a rival's wake. Software gurus warn that even small drag increases can shift battery deployment windows and force an extra downshift on the run to turn 1. In 2021, rear floor edges were trimmed by 50 millimeters, and Red Bull hunted down Mercedes, only for a later tire pressure directive to flip momentum. In 2019, a ban on a television camera duct sank midfield darlings and propelled Williams to surprise podiums. Go back to 2006 and note how the mass damper prohibition stalled Renault's charge, while 2017's sudden curtailment of shark fin engine covers reshuffled the early pecking order. In each case, team principals dismissed the threat until first practice exposed reality. So TD018 could replicate that script on a grander scale, because the front wing orchestrates every aerodynamic note downstream. Stiffen it, and vortex generators shift. Barge boards inhale dirtier flow. Underfloor tunnels lose pressure. Diffusers stall sooner. And a tiny stall at 200 kilometers per hour can cascade into tire overheating and energy recovery imbalance. This is why seasoned figures like Toto Wolff brand Spain a knife-edge weekend, and Fred Vasseur dares to call it a potential game-changer. Aerodynamic historians remind us that a mere slit in the floor or a 2mm step in the plank once decided entire championships. 20 cars, 10 freshly stiffened front wings, one small but ruthless technical directive, and a championship balanced on the brink. Barcelona offers a sporting experiment no wind tunnel could replicate. The instant the green light releases them for first practice, the timing beams will lay bare who designed on the knife edge and who built in margin. And if McLaren's papaya rocket remains untouchable, the momentum could carry all the way to Yas Marina. Yet if Scarlet creativity in Maranello truly unlocks free downforce, the second half of 2025 may belong to the prancing horse. Mercedes eyes opportunity. Red Bull plots a late-season ambush. And the midfield senses the rare scent of an upset. Engineers will spend sleepless nights tweaking ride height maps. Strategists will redraw pit windows on coffee-stained spreadsheets. And every driver will break a fraction later into turn one, searching for proof that the numbers still add up. Because sometimes the biggest plot twist in Formula One is not a daring overtake or a late race rain shower, but a line of regulatory text about 5 millimeters of flex. So as engines fire on Sunday afternoon, remember that Barcelona could be the hinge on which the entire season swings. That a single corner may rewrite the standings, and that when the checkered flag falls, the sport we thought we understood might feel entirely new, leaving all of us, teams, drivers, and fans, racing into the unknown together. And perhaps years from now, we'll look back at this weekend's modest-sounding bulletin as the spark that lit a legendary rivalry. The moment when hidden carbon fibers decided destinies and proved once again that in Formula One, the grandest dramas often start with the smallest measurements.